What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Walking This Way's Impact Voice. I am your host, Furman Jackson Jr., broadcast you live from my new hometown of Arlington, Texas, outside of Dallas, Texas. Hope everybody's having a great day. Hope everybody have a very productive day. And I hope everybody got some things done that they want to accomplish for that day. So, like I said, man, I'm truly excited and truly honored to be in your presence. I thank everybody for welcoming me into their homes, wherever you may be present at once again, to hear some very exciting, inspiring, motivational stories to inspire you, to motivate you, to be able to reach your goals, be able to reach where you want to go at in your life. A lot of people have those desires to reach those places, but never put the effort in getting into them. But I do thank you once again for being part of tonight's podcast. I also want to welcome my guest of the evening, a very inspirational man, of course, to inspire you, inspire me, inspire others all around the world when it comes to better, healthy living. And I want to welcome Mr. Terrance Hatterson to Walking the Way Impact Voice podcast. Thank you once again. I know we had some technical difficulties in the beginning, but by the grace of the Most High, we're still here, and we know that His will is being done on tonight. Thank you again.
I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you, man. Thank you for the invite.
Most definitely. Like I said, I see you on social media, on Facebook. I see people been promoting you, sharing the things you went through, where you at now, and how you're inspiring others to better take care of themselves. And I know when it comes to the Black community, we don't never focus more on our health. We're focused more on working, retirement, trying to have the next big thing. But when it comes to our health, we lack bad when it comes to that. And I, as a man of your stature, you are an example of taking care of yourself. I know you have a very interesting story. What made you turn your life around, that it may inspire us to do the same thing. And when I see men as you and others, it shows me there's no excuse when it comes to living a better life.
Yeah, the story, I didn't know what was happening with me. You know, I was having some complication with type 2 diabetes, but at the time, I didn't know exactly what was going on with me. My lifestyle at the time, I just came off a divorce. I'm in Atlanta from New York. I'm living here now. I'm partying. I'm suppressing a lot of feelings that I had from the divorce. Dissolving properties, businesses, it was a bitter thing. So when I got here, I'm 39 years old. I'm living with my mother for the first time in so long. And that's not a thing. We both have a type A personality, so I couldn't really do that for long. But I was at a party in Miami, and I started feeling weird, blurry vision, frequent urination, lack of appetite, weight loss, extreme weight loss. I was at 242 pounds. I dropped down to 200 pounds in like 2 days.
Mm.
Yeah, I was extreme dry mouth, thirstiness. I couldn't taste some of my favorite foods. And when we got back to Atlanta, I went to the doctor and I fell out right there in the lobby, and they called 911 for me. And they came in, hooked me up with the IVs, and man, I had an out of body experience. I was on a gurney looking up, and I saw myself hovering, looking down over me. I said, man, look what you done did to us. You're stupid. What's going on? But I didn't know at the time it was complication from type 2 diabetes. I thought that was like an older person's disease. I heard of it, but I didn't think it would ever happen to me. But my body, it was tired of me abusing it. I was partying, I was drinking, I was eating horribly. I was partying, I wasn't sleeping properly, all these different things, and I was gaining weight. My waistline was 40 and rising. So, I had a lot of abdominal obesity, and my body just said, look, we're going to save ourselves from you. And I got to the ICU, got on the emergency room. Actually, they was touching, my skin was clammy, and I'm steady texting my family, but I'm thinking I'm good, but I'm not. And when I found out what it was, I said, man, that's crazy. So I'm laying in ICU. I'm hooked up with IVs. I'm getting saline solutions. I'm getting poked every hour on hour with needles, with insulin. They're not feeding me. They're giving me crushed ice. And that's the best crushed ice I ever had in my life because I didn't have any taste buds. I was extremely weak. So when I came out of the ICU in 3.5 days, I found out that 5 of us checked in with diabetes complications, but I'm the only person that walked out of there. But while I was there, I said, okay, God, get me out of this one. I'm gonna do better. And that's what I did. So I was on ICU. I'm walking up and down the hallways on the 5th floor, and I can see family members praying over their loved ones. They're in a coma, they're on their deathbed. You can smell the aroma of death in the air. Very, unique smell. And I said, man, I can't die here. This is not for me. But my mess became my message. My brokenness actually made me whole again. And that experience was one of the best things that ever happened in my life. See, even though it sounds like a tragedy, but that was the best thing, one of the best things that ever happened to me, man. It was that helped me get my life back together for real.
Man, and that's a blessing that, you know what I'm saying, that God had his hand on you and that his spirit motivated you to move to become better at your lifestyle, a better eating. And like I said, you didn't want to, some people just give up, get amputated, and that's it. And they, it would be the will of God for my life. But you showed me that things can be prevented in life and that God put you through mercy and grace. Now you're on this mission, you're on this journey of living a better lifestyle. So after the intensive care, you say you made up your mind to, hey, I need to start taking care of myself. You start instantly right then and there when you got home?
Yeah. When I got out of the hospital, they gave me pamphlet of areas you can inject the insulin. They prepare you for maintenance. Let me say this.
Go ahead.
Diabetes maintenance is a $365 billion a year industry, right?
Right.
The average diabetic sufferer spends annually around $6,000 to $8,000 a year just on maintenance. So when you're coming in as a new diabetic patient, you don't know much about the disease. So to give you all this reading information, all these pamphlets tell you, look for the fatty parts of your stomach where you can inject the insulin, the types of medicine, the glycemic index, foods that's high in the sugars, what foods you can eat, what foods you can't eat, the different milligrams, there's a whole lot of information. So you get to read, you be like, man, it's so draining trying to figure out. I almost got to the point like I didn't want to eat because I hated the pinch of needles every morning. First, I got to prick my finger, check to see what my numbers are for a fasting blood count from the night before in the morning. So your numbers have to be between 80 to 120. My numbers was pretty good, like 90, maybe 95, which is pretty good, right? Anything over 125, you're pre-diabetic. Anything over 130, whatever, you might be diabetic, right? So if you ever go to a doctor and say, hey, you're pre-diabetic, a lot of times, you probably didn't fast before you went, or you went in the afternoon, you ate that morning. Of course you're diabetic, your sugar number's gonna go up, but it was just so much information and it freaked me out. And I felt like I couldn't do this. I said, I can't do this. I can't do this. Now, they put me on this new insulin drug called Lantus at the time. Lantus came in like, let's see, and it's like 5 pins in a box. Can you see that pin?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, so 5 pins in a box. So I was on 30 grams of Lantus. So you turn it, and that's 30 milligrams. That's one insulin shot. Then after you eat again, you turn it, you get like 4 or 5 of those shots. You get 5 of these in a box, right? For a week, $160 a week. I had great insurance. I had Cigna at the time. No, I had United Healthcare at the time. United Healthcare, that Atlantis was not covered under that insurance. So when you look at it from a financial point of view, what would motivate anybody to get better, I can't afford this per week. 165 times 4 weeks times, 52 weeks. You do the math, that's a lot of money. So I said, I can't do it. So I went to my doctor. I said, first of all, it was a pharmaceutical salesman came into my doctor's office. And he had this big black case full of drugs. And at the time it was Cialis, a different competition for Viagra that was just populating coming up. And he wrote it out. He said, yeah, I got the new thing. And him and my doctor started laughing. So I asked him, I said, listen, do you have any samples of this Lantus? He said, no, we can't carry that. He didn't say, I don't have it. He said, I can't carry it. So, it was a difference,
Mm-hmm.
If he could have carried it, he would have had it. But he said, I can't carry that. I'm like, wow. So the physician assistant, she came in, she said, are you afraid of needles? And I just laughed. I'm like, dude, I'm straight sticking myself every day with these needles here. But what she meant was, if I would get the dopamine needles, the syringes, and get the valve of insulin, and I could stick it in there and pull it up myself. Now, my insurance covered that. That valve of insulin was only $6 with my insurance. And I had to pay out of pocket $32 for 1,000 syringes. It was more cost effective for me to do that versus to stay on Atlantis. I said, man, let me tell you something. A disease like diabetes will potentially put you in the poorhouse if you're not careful. Okay, so that should be more than enough reason for anybody who's suffering from diabetes to want to reverse and not maintain. It's a difference. It's going to save you thousands of dollars a year if you reverse it versus maintaining the disease. So now one thing I do is try to get people to reverse it and save thousands of dollars right back into their checking account, and show them how to eat properly, work out, drink water, control your stress, and all these different things like that. But the doctors, they're conditioned to sell you on the maintenance because it keeps the money flowing. Big Pharma is scheduled to make $486 billion by the next 2 years, if they haven't made it already. So you can, natural resources, I would say use that to really control any type of lifestyle condition, but diabetes especially.
And that's some interesting stuff. And I know a lot of times, because I work within the correctional industry. I'm a correctional officer, and I see a lot of young and old guys around by like 3 o'clock, 3:15 in the morning. We take them to the nurse. They getting checked, diabetic checks, and it's serious for real. And I'm seeing more young people being diabetes as well. And I know the Bible said, my people destroyed for the lack of knowledge because they rejected it.
Yeah.
We're destroying our own bodies on a regular basis. It's not others, but we're destroying our own self in the process, especially as men.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, you don't know what you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And when you really try to figure things out, something has to happen to you, in order for you to learn from it and say, okay, I'm gonna go from that. Now, if you have a growth mindset like I had, then I'm gonna learn from it, I'm gonna move on so I can get rid of this, get past this. But if you have a set mindset, whatever the doctors tell you, that's what you wanna run with. Now, during these unprecedented times of COVID-19, it's so many things can affect type 2 diabetes or your health in general, right?
Right.
So it's imperative more than ever that we take care of ourselves so we can protect ourselves from this deadly virus. You know, outside of the hand washing and sanitizing and social distancing, you know, we have to get the sunlight. You remember last year when they shut us all in, they said, don't come outside, don't come outside. Our bodies are not designed to stay indoors, you know?
Right.
So now going back to what you said, doing corrections, that's challenging for anybody, you know, within in that environment who may suffer from diabetes, because most likely, depending on their situation there, they're not getting outside as much to get the vitamin D from the sunshine. Okay, we need that. And that's going to help fortify our immune system. So we're not designed to stay indoors. So if you're telling everybody stay indoors, that automatically weakens your immune system in the first place. And you're dealing with diabetes, you're dealing with bronchitis, you're asthmatic, you know, all these different things. You're automatically going to be at risk of the virus, and then your diabetes scare is going to go through the roof. So this is why most likely you got at 3 a.m, you got to take people to the infirmary to get them checked. You see what I'm saying? Because anything can happen. And I'm pretty sure that I don't know what the diet plan with correctional officers or facilities have for patients, but I'm pretty sure. Like I worked at a mental health hospital here in Atlanta for years before I did retirement. And believe me, man, you know, they keep people on the meds with the diabetes, you know, whether it's metformin or the shot, you know, and so many people are struggling, but at the end of the day, they don't get the adequate fruits and vegetables eaten from a healthy state. They don't get clean water, whatever it is, to really try to reverse it or curve it. But the medicine keep coming in, keep that money. You keep medicine coming in like a clockwork every month, that money keep rolling out. I don't care what type of insurance you got, you're gonna spend something.
And it do. And like I said, I see it on a regular basis within the line of work that I do. But like I said, when COVID hit, you know, like I said, I'm glad you brought that up about taking care of ourselves to fight off that disease. That's something that the media never talked about. All they talked about was wash your hands, social distancing. But I never seen nobody, I ain't seen nobody on social media say, hey, you need to start taking these things, the proper nerves to keep your immune system build up. I never seen nobody do that. Why was that?
You know, a lot of times, well, there's tons of people out there saying it. It all depends on what you're looking at when you go on social media, what you're Googling, because they got the system rigged up. Just to say, I'm looking for something for my house, a new office chair. And then I find something, then I log off and come back again. I'm gonna see all these ads, all these write-ups about office chairs.
That's true.
If you're not looking for it, bro, you know, you're not gonna find it. It's not gonna pop up. But there's tons of information out there. You just have to Google it and get the research. Now, with COVID-19, you know, even your immune system is compromised, just like if you caught the flu. You know, you still have to make sure that you exercise, eat properly, control your stress, you know, drink your water to really help combat the flu. You know, and once your immune system becomes compromised during the wintertime, or even some people get flu in the cold in the summertime, you know, your body does not have the strength to fight off the bacteria. Like right now, we got all type of viruses coming our way. Every time. Our immune system are blockers, like they keep blocking to help fight us off, keep us back. So if we're here right now doing COVID-19 and we're feeling fine, that goes to show you that our immune systems is really strong. You know, even though we can be following the protocols of the CDC, but you know, we don't have any symptoms, you know, we doing everything we can do. But some people, they're at more risk, like the older generation, people who suffer from diabetes, people suffer from any type of respiratory issues. You know, they may be asthmatic, bronchitis, seasonal allergies. but there's tons of information out there. You already know to exercise. You already know to eat, right? You already know these things. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. It's so much information out there. You just have to do your research on it. And once you start doing that, all type of articles and blogs and TV shows going to be popping right up on your timeline. And you're going to find a lot of things out there, or a lot of individuals just like me who got a ton of information that can help you out health-wise and save tons of money in the process.
And that's what's up right there. And I know right now you're currently on the top specialist in your field. Let the audience know how long you've been in this field as a specialist.
Oh man, when I came out of the ICU around about 2009, then I went to the gym, and I said, man, I gotta get back. I gotta get back, And you just had that burning desire to work out. And I probably like 90 days in, I was getting strength back. I wasn't 240 pounds anymore, but I was like 205, pretty much the size where I'm at right now. I was getting there, but I was building leaner muscle. And a woman came in, she asked if I was the trainer there. And I said, no, but that's when the light bulb went off. So I went and I started taking my certifications, getting my license. I already have a BA in hospitality management and culinary arts. So I already knew about food, but I didn't really know too much about nutrition. So I was hitting the gym, trying to get clients just like any other trainer. But this in Atlanta, you can find a fitness trainer, like you can find a Family Dollar or Dollar Tree in the neighborhood, man, everybody, but I had to evolve. So I got into writing books, doing blogs, writing articles for magazines. This is within the first, say this is like 2012, 2013. And I said, wow, I'm really good at this, and I started improving, and I started writing for free to build up my portfolio. I started giving interviews for free to really build up my portfolio. And all of a sudden I got to the point I was able to charge, if you wanted to speak to me or you wanted me to speak at your event, and it'll be a fee. If it wasn't a fee, or if it is a fee, I was able to sell my merchandise in the front too, what I'm saying? So, and this is what people was doing. I didn't know about it, So I was picking up with that. And this is around 2015 down 2016. And then 2017, I was doubling my income from my corporate job. So I did an early retirement. I bounced, and I had the time, but I didn't have the age. And I, did an early retirement from the state, and I started doing this full time, and it just took off. So right now, from 2000, since I left there, 2017 to this point right here, this is the most critical part of being one of the top in the field, because it forced me. Now there's no safety net from a 401k, job security. Well, there's no job is really secure, but it forced me to be more creative with my talents, with my speaking engagements, with doing more networking, and get to the point where now we featured on all the major digital platforms: ABC, NBC, Fox, Telemundo, the Boston Herald, all over the country. And I was able to do syndicated radio and television as well. And that really promoted me to the next level. So now I don't even consider myself as a personal trainer. We passed that. We're doing medical fitness, medical nutrition, just to say, like, most of my clients now recovering from a stroke. So when a stroke hits you, most likely you're gonna lose one side of your body. You're gonna be paralyzed, right? Now you got to learn how to utilize your fine motor skills and your gross motor skills again. Imagine being 40 plus years old, recovering from a stroke, and you have to learn how to brush your teeth, comb your hair, put on clothes, zip up your zipper, tie your shoes, get up from the floor, get down. You have to learn these things all over again, so you become a child again. And you put pressure on your loved ones, and now they become a caregiver to you, right? So these are the people I work with now, the handicapped, disabled, people who are recovering from a heart attack, a stroke, diabetes. And we talk about medical fitness. We're talking about medical nutrition at this point to help people get back to great activities of daily living and a great quality of life at this point, because this is what we need as we get older now. You know, because if something happens, tragedy happens, God forbid, like a stroke or you're in ICU, or anything can happen, like an accident, you will have a car wreck, anything, you know, but you have to get back to being like that man you once were, or like that woman you once were. So right between 2018 up to this day right now are the most critical parts of what I'm doing right now. This is the much more rewarding part of it, where it's more than the monetary value. It's all about the purpose at this point now. But money is not bad, no, but it's, I get more pleasure of helping people now.
And I said that's truly a blessing to have a heart to really help others get on that right track to be a better them, a better you. And I know my next question is, what do you say to someone who say that it's expensive to eat healthy? I heard that before. People say, man, it costs a lot of money to eat healthy. But when I'm leaving and I'm going, if I'm coming home from work, I see cars lined up around McDonald's, Burger King, all these places.
Yeah.
But they tell you it's too expensive to eat healthy. So what do you say to a person like that?
Well, you know, let's look at it like this. It's going to cost you to eat healthy, okay? So there's so many ways we can do it, but I'm gonna try to tie it up. All right, so when you're talking about eating foods that's closer to the natural state, fruits and vegetables, whole grains and everything like that. Let's just say you're a farmer, right? And you had a bad crop or something, right? So it's costing you money. But you got oranges, you got, you know, greens, you got all these different things. So now you got to pay the person to pick it, packages up. You got to load it on the refrigerator truck. You got to pay that trucker to take it to Atlanta from Florida or from Texas. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you're in Texas right now, so imagine the weather is crazy, right? So imagine you got some crops down there and you messed up, right? So you got to pay for the gas, transportation, you got to pay for storage, and you got to pay to offload it, everything like that. This is why fresh fruits and vegetables cost the way they cost, because you're not just paying for that. You got to pay for all these different components that goes into getting that fresh produce there. Another one is that it's when you start to eat from McDonald's, it's all processed and fast food. Of course, it's going to be cheap. It's man-made stuff. It's not natural stuff, right? So when you're talking about fast food, you're talking about processed food, you're talking about foods that's in a box, foods that's in a can, you're talking about all these different foods. Yeah, they're cheaper. You can go to, I know people right now that going to Family Dollar, a dollar store, buying their food because the economy is messed up. I lost my job, right? In unemployment. I barely can pay my bills. And let's be honest, $1,200 stimulus check, it's not going to do a whole lot.
It's not.
You know, that's 1 month. So, you know, you got to find a way to eat. So when we're talking about being quarantined, everybody ran to the grocery store and they started buying food, but they were not buying nutrition, which is the fruits and vegetables and all that stuff like that. I get that. Here's the deal. You're quarantined and you don't know how for long, so you got to make your money stretch out. So of course you're going to go to the shelves and you're going to get your peanut butter. You're going to get all your shelf stable stuff with the additives and the preservatives that's going to last 6 months to 12 months in the cabinet. So at least you know you got that versus buying the fresh stuff that can only last like 3 to 5 days tops in the refrigerator, right? If you even eat it. So this is why fresh fruits and vegetables cost more, because you got to pay for the storage, the gas, the workers, you got to pay the farmers, you know, all that. Now, if you're thinking about organic fruits and vegetables, most people buy organic because they don't like the pesticides and a lot of foods that people may be using. They grow it, right? So they grow organic. And so you spend an extra few cents a pound, $1 a pound, for whatever it may be. You know, it's, if you think, I'm gonna say this to the listeners, if you think eating healthy is expensive, try getting a medical bill. Your medical bills are super expensive, and it's going to hit you hard. And they want their money. If they serve you, they want that money. And if you can't pay for it, it's going straight to your credit, and that's going to destroy your credit over time. You're never going to get any. You're not going to be able to get an apartment, buy a house, maybe some cases get a job, all that because you got medical bills. Now, if you're able to get some of those things covered, then that's fine. I got a client right now. He said, T, I'm gonna have this medical bill for the rest of my life. When he said that, I was like, man, imagine that. So the answer that, once again, if you think eating healthy is too expensive, wait till you get the medical bills broke. $10 for aspirin. That's crazy. So you're gonna have to weigh it out. If most people, when they get their prescriptive drug, they will cut out that, they will allocate that 50, 60, 70, $100 a month to get the medicine, but they won't do that to eat fruits and vegetables because they're conditioned. They're conditioned mentally to spend the money out and not go buy the fruits and vegetables to eat properly to help maintain a healthy lifestyle.
And like I said, that's one of my pet peeves is eating healthy. I do buy a lot of organic stuff, which I don't mind because I'm thinking long term because I'll be 39 on April 23rd. So still a young man, but just thinking long term, a little better lifestyle. Even the Bible says God wants us to prosper in our health. It's what our soul prospers. So the will of God is for us to be healthy, to function here. And my next question is, we see athletes today like LeBron James, Tom Brady, Russell Wilson. Them guys spend millions of dollars taking care of their bodies. Of course, you got the media would say, well, Father Time's undefeated, but these guys constantly working health-wise. Yeah. So do you use some of their methods as well when it comes to dealing with your clientele?
Oh yeah, most definitely. First of all, for these, they are, whether you're an elite athlete or a non-athlete, you're handicapped or disabled, it's the same fundamentals. You got to look at it like an elite athlete. See, they're getting paid millions of dollars. They on a contract. You're getting paid millions of dollars to play at maximum levels. So of course, they're going to provide you with the best nutrition. They got nutritionists like myself, dietitians, sports trainers, athletic trainers, physical therapists, doctors. They got the best drugs to help keep them performing at max levels. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So we still utilize the same principles. We just got to make sure that our clients complete a contract with themselves. You got to look at it. This is a contract between you versus you. This is a business also. Okay, so if you're not taking care of yourself now, don't expect to perform at max levels on your job. Don't expect to perform mentally and physically at maximum levels. And then we want people to ask themselves a question. When you know you can be given 100%, ask yourself, why are you not giving 100% right now? Why are you only giving 70%? Why? Just me sitting here talking to you, I'm giving you 70% because I'm not doing anything. This is not a purposeful exercise. So just you talking to me, you're using 70% of your body's energy. Mm-hmm. So when it comes down to exercising, you got to give 100% and go your max. So we know people are, struggling at home right now. They're sitting more, they're quarantined. So they have an increased risk of stiffness of joints. They're not stretching, they're not exercising. I know some people, man, they got a smartwatch on, Apple Watch that say, hey, get up and move. They ignore it. Drink your water. They ignore it. Get up and stretch. They ignore it. I'm like, what's the use of having it if you're not utilizing it? So we will send periodic texts. Hey, did you drink your water today? How many ounces? And did you eat 5 to 7 servings of fruits and vegetables, stuff like that. So to answer your question in a nutshell, yeah, we take the same fundamentals that these elite athletes do, and we try to share that with a regular non-athlete as well, so they can perform at max levels. And it's challenging, right? Because these people, they got tough careers, or maybe they lost their job. So psychologically, they don't have the momentum to do it. If you're suffering from mental health conditions, depression, anxiety, adult ADHD, PTSD, a lot of times exercise is the key to help combat that. But if they put you on a drug and it's a side effect, you're going to gain weight and it's going to make you fatigue anyway. So you don't want to exercise. So if I say, hey, look, we got to perform like LeBron, and a guy may be 280 pounds, he's not thinking about performing like LeBron. He's thinking about weight loss. Like, then if I can lose 100 pounds, then I can consider that. But, it's just pertains to the individual. It's not a cookie cutter program. It's not a one size fit all. So, we got to go in as one-on-one and talk to the individual like that, and then create a program to get them to the mental and physical levels of an elite athlete. But we try to incorporate those fundamentals in the process.
And that's what's up. And I know you don't have to be an elite athlete to have the body that you want. Like I said, just be the elite you and be at the top peak, whatever phase you may in. You may be a clerk, but you want to be at your best as being a clerk. And in other words, having that self-confidence, that self-love of loving yourself, no matter where you at maybe in life, but better take care of yourself in the process. And I love guys like that. You're an inspiration of hard work, dedication. That motivates me and many others in life. Man, if T could do it, I could do it too. Just that there's no excuses in life.
Yeah.
So
it's don't get me wrong now. I mean, it's hard for me too. It's been very challenging. Sometimes I'd be like, man, it's really hard. And then some days, once I signed that contract that I wrote to myself, and then it actually turned into a business, then it forced me to do better. It forced me to do the things that I needed to do, because I can't tell you if you're diabetic or whatnot. Like, I can't tell you you can do it if I'm not following my own scope of practice,
right.
It's like, if I'm not looking like I've took care of myself, just to say you bring me on and I'm speaking on your podcast and I look like crap, and I'm telling you, they be like, man, please, nobody's gonna take you seriously, dog. Nobody.
I agree.
So when I looked at it like that, if I'm on stage talking to 10,000 people and they got me on a jumbotron and everybody's seen you, and I'm saying, hey, let me talk to you about diabetes, and you just sharing my story and talking about weight loss, but I'm looking 30, 40 pounds overweight, people gonna be on their phone, or they're gonna be talking to their neighbor. I don't have their attention because I'm lying now. Like, he's a hypocrite, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
But so most people don't want to make the necessary sacrifices. You're gonna have to give up so much of the things that was killing you in the past.
Right.
You're gonna have to do it. It's imperative. It's so important, but people don't want to give it up.
Oh, it comes with sacrifice. The greater good, you gotta have great sacrifices. And that's why I say I love, like, a man of your stature, you living a lifestyle, you showing evidence of who you are. And like I said, people need to see that and like, wow, this is the real deal. I seen some trainers in Planet Fitness before, and they are not in no shape at all. Like, how can because like, how can I learn from you and you got the same body I got? So what's the use?
Well, Planet Fitness, and not to bash them, it's a great place to start. Like their slogan is a judgment-free zone. So even their trainers, I think their mindset, are they selling piece is, even our trainers are just like you. And one thing that turned me off about them, certain days they have, like the first Monday of the month or whatever, they have pizza,
They
and then
do.
the next day they have bagels, and then on their counter they got this big thing of candy, and I was like, what is so? But I mean, I trained there, but I got out of there real fast because people expect me to train them at Planet Fitness prices. And that's not what I do. You can't catch me in box gyms training nobody. Okay. I'm in people's houses. I mean, a lot of my clients, they got their own gym, or I'm in boutique style settings working with chiropractors and physical therapists, right? Or I'm in doctor's offices working with them. So it's a more, a higher pay scale, right? But box gyms is a great place to start if you're a trainer trying to, come out and whatever. But you can't stay there. You cannot stay there. And for a lot of people who go to Planet Fitness or any type of gym similar to that, you know, they're hesitant by going to box gyms anyway because of fear of somebody pointing the finger, or they, talking behind their back just to say an overly obese person. So, it's challenging for everybody, man. Real talk, real talk.
It
But
is.
yeah, it's challenging. And another thing when it comes down to certain conditions, what one thing and I want to say this to anybody who looking at somebody who may be obese or overweight. You know, a lot of times it's a medical issue and not a food issue. Okay. And when I got into medical fitness and medical nutrition, especially with women, like women have different hormonal changes going on. Inactive thyroid. If a woman's thyroid is inactive and they put them on the med, it's the steroid component. It's going to be a weight gain of 30, 40 pounds easy. And it's going to make them super fatigued. They want to exercise, but they can't, right? Same thing with cancer. And a man, you do a shot, it kills the T hormones in the man's body. He put on weight. He know he may want to need to exercise mentally, but physically, his body will not allow him. He doesn't have the energy. He don't have the testosterone hormones to follow through with his mindset. So I want to say this: a lot of times you don't know a person's story till you actually doing a consultation and talking with this person. Just
Mm-hmm.
because somebody is overweight or they walk a certain way, you don't know the issue. It could be a medical issue. And I had to learn that over the years and really be sensitive to people's situations, because people suffer from arthritis, MS, cancer, whatever it is. And fibroids, fibromyalgia, sciatic nerve damage. Like these things will paralyze a person mentally and physically. And you become an emotional eater or an emotional alcohol consumer just to try to suppress it. Most people just shop on Amazon all day because they can't do anything else. You know what I'm saying? It's a sad situation, though, but these are true stories every day that I see.
And the mental aspect, I'm glad you brought up about the mental aspect. The brain function. Um, the does that, I know the mental aspect, does it play, I know it plays a role in the mental, but how can we, like, is there any different like brain mental exercises that we can
Mhm.
do on a regular basis?
Oh yeah, I mean, first of all, you got to do a brain dump, and I like sharing this information. And in 19, I think it's 96 and 97, Donald Trump said, and it always stuck with me. He said this back in the 90s when he was, back in the 90s when he was embraced by the hip hop culture. He was like, we have over 86,000 thoughts per day. It might as well be big ones. And I was like, whoa, that was heavy. And this was in the mid-90s, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with everything that's going on to this present day, even with everything that was happening in last year in 2020, when we on our smartphones and we on our computer, it's so much information coming towards us. Light 5G speed, that's 5G lightning speed, so much information. So our brain calculates it. The brain is the first computer, the first app, right? So it's processing all this. Now you got to be able to take some of that, some of those thoughts and say, this thought right here, I can use this. Let me save this and activate that. These thoughts right here, this is trash. You know, you got to brain dump. You got to get rid of that. So, but some people have the same thoughts over and over and over again. That's called worryation. You know, confusion. They don't know what to do, but they don't know how to do it. So you have to purge your thinking, you know, instead of dwelling in the problem, find a solution and get away from negative thinkers, you know, because those people will bite you on the neck like a vampire. So you got to meditate for at least, and try to do 10, 15 minutes twice a day, find a quiet place. Grandmama used to say, go into your closet, baby. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what that is. You know, you go and then you do meditation, or you can do word games. And then you got to get the proper nutrition too. Like you got to get a lot of blueberries, maybe some ginkgo supplements, eat fish 2-3 times a week. You can get all this is brain food. So the more you work out, you're going to increase cognitive awareness for your brain. You're going to reduce brain fog, confusion. You're going to your processing is going to be. That's what exercising does. A lot of people just look at it. Oh, check me out. Look at my arm. But they don't look at the internal part of it. Like when you're exercising, it increasing your thought process. You know, cognitive awareness. Like you got to be sharp. Like your career where you work at, you got to be sharp.
You do.
You ain't got time to be falling asleep. You ain't got time. You ain't got time to be trying to figure out what's your next move, because, you know, you got to be sharp, bro. So, you know, we got to drink our water to keep our brain hydrated. As we age, our brain shrinks, our body shrinks, but our brains get smaller. You see? So you become frail. You're not as sharp as you once were. So, you know, we got to exercise. We got to meditate. Oh, we got to practice great breathing techniques, like sitting and breathing from the diaphragm, breathing out through your nostrils and not through your mouth. You know what I'm saying? So when you sit and exercising like that, that holistically, naturally lower your blood pressure, and that really increase oxygen to the brain. So when you're doing all that, that's going to make you feel a whole lot better, man. It's like, you know what? I feel great today. You ever walk out the door and the sun's shining, the birds chirping, and everything, your brain is like, you can feel it activating. You can feel those neurons going. They firing up, baby. Like, oh, it's going to be a good day today, baby. You can feel it, man. You can feel your energy. So these are the things that I recommend. You exercise, drink your water, stretch. When you're stretching for 20 to 25 seconds to mild or moderate discomfort, you're really getting a lot of oxygen to the brain. Okay. Yeah, most people, they be like, yo, that's not a stretch. You got to hold that stretch, man, so it hurt. This is why yoga is so popular with a lot of individuals, because not only does it help with cognitive awareness and breathing, but also help with flexibility of the joints and the muscles as well, because we're getting older now. So we get, you know, lack of flexibility and lack of range of motion when we exercise. So, you know, all these things plays a part in your brain health. And it's when you come down to type 2 diabetes, and this is one thing that people don't really think about, they don't know about. Let me say, it's a thing called type 3 diabetes. When your type 2 diabetes gets so bad, it gets into the brain, bro. It can cause dementia. onset dementia. It's called type 3 diabetes, what very uncommon. So people, it's not in the mainstream, but basically that's what it is. Because when I had my diabetes, I mean, my eyes were so blurry. That sugar was all in my lens, man. When I can't, I had to get 3-in-1 bifocals, bro. You know, $950. Now I can't even use it no more because my eyes got better. But you know, if it would have got even worse, I probably would have had a lot of that sugar in my brain, and that would have caused onset dementia. You know, and so even right now to this day, I still got to be careful of my stress levels. You know, I got to make sure I'm getting the nutrients that I need. I'm constantly reading, I'm writing, so I'm exercising. So you got to do all these different things, man, to be safe and to prevent deterioration of your brain.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm one that I love reading. You know, that's one of my enjoyment. I got so many books in my library upstairs that I love reading books. Love to keep alert, especially the type of field I am.
Yeah.
Be alert, be sharp. The mental aspect, not just as an officer in law enforcement, but also my personal life to be sharp and be alert at all costs. And it's a process. Another thing I want to ask too when it comes to the male sexual orientation, the ED. You know, you have men who suffer from ED. Do you educate men on how to be able to build the risk? I know men, we love sex, you know, and when you suffer with ED, that does something to a man mentally.
Yeah.
So men that dealing with ED, how do you help them with it? How do you help them overcome that to be able to build back up when it comes to sex with their wives or girlfriends, whatever?
Well, you know, it's a number of key factors. It's this thing, you can Google this, called andropause. Andropause is almost like it's like menopause for women, for men, you know, or it's manopause or menopause, and not menopause for women, but mano or andropause, right? So when that happens, especially as we get 40 and over, we lose sex drive. We suffer from some people suffer from erectile dysfunction, pre-ejaculation, overweight. We have a lot of abdominal obesity. Our BMI is high. You know, it kills our testosterone count, our hormones. You know, so when it comes down to men's sexual health, sometimes men don't like to talk about it as much. But I was like, yo, you got to talk about this, because I'm going to tell you why. Most men that I consult with, they don't, you know, they've been married 10, 20 years and they're complacent with their spouse, right? They get up in the morning, they do a rollover on their wife, you know, 5 minutes, they done, you know. Over time, your woman is going to get tired of that.
Yeah.
Because a woman's body, if she's sexually at her peak, she deserves more than 5 minutes. And if it becomes repetitious and she's not getting her release off and excitement off, she's just feeling like she's there, eventually she's going to go someplace else. Depending on who this woman is, she's going to find somebody else who don't suffer from everything that you suffer from, who's going to give her the sexual excitement and pleasures that she needs. So men don't want to talk about it. They would say, yo, you know, she cheating, she doing this and she doing that, but you never ask this woman what may have caused it. Like, when I was in the streets, this is what I know. Before I got into health and wellness, I've been around a lot of women, just to put it that way. You know what I mean? I learned from them. They tell me true game. I'm like, man, I can't ever let that happen to me, bro. But it's a true thing. It's a true thing with men. Men need to go. First of all, you need to stop drinking as much as you're doing. Quit eating with the wings. Quit eating horribly. And we go right back to nutrition versus food. We got to get rid of this abdominal obesity. We got to get our weight down. That obesity and maybe the high blood pressure, most likely you're on high blood pressure medicine. The side effects of that, side effects of diabetes medication is going to be erectile dysfunction, pre-ejaculation, low in libido, the whole nine. So this is why Viagra is so popular, Cialis, and if you go to a gas station right now, they got all the low horny goat weed pill, all the, you know what I'm saying? They got all that stuff in there for you. It's a lot of stuff they got for you, but at the end of the day, you got to eat right, you got to exercise, and you're going to see, that your sex life becomes much more explosive. You're going to have harder erections. You're going to last longer. You'll be able to pleasure your woman. Only thing you got to do is make a lifestyle change, especially at 40, 50, 60, you know what I'm saying? Like all these ages, you be like, man, your wife and your girl be like, yo, that's what's up. She gonna be happy.
I know, right?
Yeah, this is we all adults, we men,
Yeah.
and I'm a professional. This is what I do every day, and I tell guys, like, dude, this is what you need to do. You don't need all the pills and potions and the Henny. Start doing this, eating better, get your nutrients and get your blood flow going. Your blood pressure too high, so your blood vessels your heart got to pump too much to get the blood circulating down there into your genitals. You see what I'm saying? But if you don't have great blood flow, of course you're not going to have an extended erection for a long period of time. This is real talk. Your doctor even tell you that. But eat right, exercise, control your stress, and do everything you need to do. You get that thing like 60 days, whatever, boom, lose the weight, exercise, you're going to feel a difference, and your woman is going to feel a difference. And I guarantee you, she going to like you even more. And you can be like, man, I gotta get off the alcohol. I got to get off the drugs. I got to get off this fast food. I got to get off these wings. I got to get off this.
Yeah.
I got to get off of this thing, man, because I've seen a lot of situations where that particular sexual health, demeanor, demise, deterioration, I would say, for a better word, really wreck a lot of relationships long term, man, And I've seen the divorce happen about it because the guy too macho. He don't want to take advice. He don't want. Let me tell you something, men. If your wife, girlfriend, significant other, baby mama, whoever it is, keeps suggesting to you to exercise, lose the weight, she may be telling you because she's not pleased sexually, but she's trying to show you another way. She's trying to tell you a different way other than crushing your ego. You see what I'm saying? Basically, that's what it is. So she's not complaining to you. She loves you and she want to help you out before she just comes straight out, be sick of your mess and be like, look, this is what it is. And you're going to be hurt by that. I've seen that too. So take her advice, go to your primary physician, get checked out. Talk to somebody, man. You already know you got issues, and a woman, she wants you to be better sexually. She wants you because she's at her peak, depending on who she is. And then here's the deal. Same thing with the women. Some women, they go through menopause. They have low libido. They have vaginal dryness. They on certain medications. The side effects may cause all those different things. And she may not want sex all the time. You may be good, but you can't get it because she ain't in it. Then you're going to start feeling less than a man. Like, yo, my woman is not attracted to me anymore. And then you're going to start tripping, but it ain't her fault. She going through a hormonal change or she going through a medical issue. So we have to be open-minded as well. So it goes both ways, but, it still comes down to diet and exercise at the end of the day.
Oh, most definitely. And like I said, we don't really talk about this as men when it comes to our sexual lifestyle. We talk about everything, and we talk about sports, we talk about this and that when it comes to the bedroom. And we know it's a problem because you're not having that erectile, and she's gonna be patient, but eventually, like that, she's gonna get tired of it, and she's gonna start saying,
"Oh yeah," she's gonna be like, this." She's gonna really get frustrated with you, and she's gonna start giving you subliminal hints.
Yeah.
And if you're smart to read between the lines and pick up if you're smart enough to read through the lines and pick up on what she's not saying, then you're a good man. But if it's just over your head and you get mad when she just finally come out and tell you, oh, you got a problem, but you don't want to, you need to pick up on them signs and symptoms as your woman alerts you to, hey, I'm having a problem, our sex life, it's not the way it once was. Are you bored with me? Are we just getting too old, getting too used to me? She's going to start feeling like she's not as attracted to her man anymore, and every woman's going to need that. They're going to feel that somewhere down the line, especially if you're traveling all the time, you're never home and you're constantly out with your friends and you treat her like crap and all that. Ain't no woman going to stay too long. She going to find somebody, and this is a true story. I had a friend up in New York and he thought he was the player, and this girl his wife was a good wife, and she caught wind a lot of stuff. She tolerated stuff for years. And she wanted to make that one move with a guy. And he found out and he flipped out and he calmed down after that because he never thought his wife, would do something like that. And he just neglected her. And she was a dime, educated, beautiful, business sense, common sense, great sense of humor, and I was like, oh, and I said, I don't even know, but most men, we get into our ego, we don't know what we already have. And it's just one of those things, man. So we have to pay close attention to our wives and to our girlfriends to see what they need physically, sexually, she needs to be treated, the way she needs to be treated. So if you're overweight and you're lasting 2 minutes, 5 minutes, that's not going to work for her. If she's still there with you after 3-4 years and she ain't saying nothing, then trust me, it's somebody else. Not to advocate that, but it could be. But most women they're not going to put up with that. If you're not going to seek the attention that you need as far as medical advice and help, then it's on you. Okay, but we got to get our sexual life. And I'm going to say this, your sexual health is going to help reduce your stress. Trust me. Sex is an exercise. You can burn off calories, okay? Sex is an exercise. So it's going to help lower your stress levels. It's going to help reduce your risk of heart attack and stroke, obesity, all these different things. It's right there. Google it.
Yeah, it is free information.
Yeah, it's right there. It's free game. I tell people all the time, man, you got to have sex 3-4 times a week if you can, especially if you're a man.
Yeah, because as a man, you want to be able to master that area in your life. You can have the looks, you can have the business success, you can have all this stuff going on, but if you lack that area, that does something to a man's ego. I don't care who you is.
I don't care. You can be the biggest, strongest, richest guy in the world. But if you suffer down there, you got a problem. I'm gonna tell you a joke. When I was Googling the side effects of diabetes, the medicine of diabetes, and this is a true story, real talk. One of the side effects was erectile dysfunction. I said, oh, I got to get my life together. I'm trying to, this is true, my girlfriend, she's like, oh yeah, we got to work on that. But I can't see myself in that, what I'm saying? Like, because at 53, I'm still a highly sexual person. So if nothing else don't work, that got to continue to work because I know that's going to make me feel like a man, what I'm saying? So it's like, and then, it's nothing like that as a man to have great sexual relationships with his woman, and it's a powerful thing that's going to help reduce your stress and prevent other areas of lifestyle chronic illnesses or disease in the process. So if you don't believe me, just go ahead to Google and ask Google about it. They tell you, read your books. Sex is an important aspect in a man's life and in a woman's life.
It really is. And like I said, 53, you don't even look 53 at all. So
that's the water removing toxins out of your life. A lot of times It's not what is aging us, it's who aging us. You
Mm.
know, we could be in toxic relationships, whether it's professional or personal. You got to remove those things because it's going to age you, it's going to corrode you from the inside out. Like, you know, I can be 53, but if I'm in a high stress state all the time, my vital organs can be 3 to 5 years older. You see what I'm
Mm.
saying? And that's a medical fact. Like if we continue to abuse our bodies, our vital organs will age faster than our chronological body, you know? And this is a fact. So we may not feel it right now, but down the line, you might be like, man, this thing is, whoo, this, you know, I'm feeling sluggish, I'm feeling super old, and my body's not processing, I'm not pooping regularly, you know, it's, you know, the liver's not working right. So these things are medical facts. So the whole thing to slow down the aging process, exercise, drink your water, meditate, detox your body, detox your life, drinking the H2O, which is important to drink on a regular basis. As soon as you wake up in the morning, slam it down. You know, 30 minutes before mealtime, this helps suppress your appetite, slam it down. You know, they went 40 days and 40 nights with no food, but they didn't say they go 40 days and 40 nights with no water. You know,
That's true.
your body is comprised of 80% water, at least 75 to 80% water. So you can't go for long periods of time without staying hydrated. And this is important with keeping your internal and your internal self very hydrated, so the water can push the vitamins, the minerals, and the nutrients and everything through the bloodstream to the different systems in your body, and that's going to help slow down your aging process. So when your body's getting exactly what it needs versus what you're giving it, which is the toxin and the process and the junk and the process and the fast food, all those are chemicals.
Yeah.
So that's gonna wreck your body, and you're gonna start looking older than you are. I'm pretty sure you ever seen somebody you graduated from high school with years ago, and you see them, you're like, man, you look old, man. You know, you know, nah, I don't. You don't want that to be you.
Exactly.
You know, so everything ties in. This health and wellness, everything ties in. The exercise, well, your physical, your environmental, your emotional, your spiritual, your financial, you know, all these things tie in because of all those things fall and you got to go to the hospital. That's going to affect your financial health or your financial wellness. That's going to break you down, man. You know, that's a whole nother thing. So I know people who are super fit. However, they cranky all the time. They're irritable. They, you know, they don't have peace.
Mm.
You know, but you see them all day flexing.
Yeah.
But off the camera, they cranky all the time. I said, man, it's no peace in your life. You don't have no spiritual wellness. You don't have no connection to the source. You don't take time to enjoy the things that's right in front of you. You know, you're always stressed out. You
Right.
know, or they live in an environment that's really chaotic, you know, and that can really cause a lot of stress. So it can go, you know, it spirals all over the place in so many different components and factors, bro, for real.
And like I said, this is stuff is some great information. I know that it's a process all this stuff, and it's a lifestyle. And I know you have a podcast as well. So plug in your podcast. How can people check it out, and what media outlets can they go to subscribe to your podcast?
My podcast just went international. It's called the Your Best Lifestyles with the S, Health and Wellness Podcast. But when you Google it, you can just say Your Best Lifestyles Podcast. I like to say international because now, you know, we're in 53 countries, 1.3 million listeners, and we doing shows like right after I'm gonna do a show. We keep putting out content And we're on Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Deezer, uh, iHeart, Pandora, soon to be on Amazon, Podbean. We on Anchor, we on Owltail, and a lot of these platforms, a lot of people are not familiar with. They're familiar with the big name brands, but
Right.
the speaker box, like these brands, Speaker Box and Deezer and Stitcher and TuneIn, these brands, they really spin the content as well. They really push the numbers up as well. Like people mostly focus on Spotify and iHeart, which is Apple. Oh yeah, we on Apple, we on Google, and that's cool. But we just and a lot of gratitude for that, because the podcast just started when we got quarantined almost a year ago.
Yeah.
We've been doing so many different interviews with people from around the world. The other day we just did Alaska, Delaware, Germany, just on the phone chopping it up. Now, you know what I'm saying? It's an amazing feeling just to meet people, experts in their field, who are sharing so much great content on the show. And I have like 350 sponsors, advertisers, people sending us product for product placement. They try their product and give a Amazon review. So they send the products to the studio. And I was like, I'm getting some real nice products, man. Like, oh, this is great. And it's just a blessing, man. So the quarantine has really helped me. As you see, I got the sign back there and the banners here. So, mic set up, just doing our thing, man. So it's a Your Best Lifestyles podcast. You just Google it and everything will pop up.
And congratulations on that. Keep doing what you're doing. And I know we're pressed for time. I know you are busy, man. I know you're about to get ready to jump on, do the podcast yourself. So any final remarks for the listening audience here tonight that may tune in the near future? Because I know it's going to be up on my Facebook page. It's going to be up on my YouTube as well also. And of course, Spotify, I uploaded on that also.
All right, great. Well, the first thing I want to say, and probably this is going to be the only thing, like, listen, your mental and emotional health is going to play a huge part in your overall success and wellness. Okay. Now, I want you to really pay attention on how you are treating yourself. Pay attention to how you are speaking to yourself. There's so many things that's going on in the world right now. These are unprecedented times. So you can get distracted from all different directions. Sometimes your stress levels will get so high, you forget to eat, you forget to work out, you forget to drink the water, and then you start to do a negative self-talk. You look in the mirror and call yourself ugly, call yourself this, and you're never gonna do this, you need to stop that, okay? Because your subconscious mind is recording everything that you're saying to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You need to start saying I ams, I will, I will lose this weight. I am going to write my book. I am going to stay, whatever it is that it is. So because nobody's coming to your rescue. And with this pandemic right now, what I'm seeing, like if you go to the emergency room, go to the hospital right now, your family members can't even come see you. And so many people are dying alone in hospital beds.
Mm-hmm.
You understand me? So it's a scary moment. So we have to make sure that we do the brain dump. We release anything that's not serving us. We need to let it go. It's just like if you out and your ship is sinking and they be like, throw everything overboard. That's how you got to treat this thing, man. And you need to keep your thoughts light. You don't need to keep it heavy. Stop with the worryation and anxiety. Pray to God and show gratitude of the things that you already have, man, and not the things that that you don't have. Find the silver lining in every setback. Find the blessing in everything that's happening in your life. If it's a bad situation, look for that blessing, because a lot of times, you know the old saying, things happen for you and not to you.
Right.
I didn't know that diabetes was going to be the thing that pushed me where I'm at right now. Like who would have thought that? You know, sometimes tragedy can be your triumph. Your mess can be your message, you know, and your brokenness, and you think life is falling apart, it can actually be falling back in place. But you got to have a growth mindset to recognize these things. So when things you got laid off, cool. Guess what? You didn't like the job anyway. They were stressing you out, making you sick anyway. Now it's a blessing. You get to start your own business, that business you wanted to start. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you got to look at it for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You always wanted to write that book, but you couldn't do it because you're working 10, 12 hours a day. Now you're not. Write the book.
Right.
It might become an Amazon bestseller, Time bestseller, New York Times bestseller, whatever it is, you know. Quarantine helped me with my podcast. I didn't know I was going to have all these different sponsors and stuff, you know. That helped me.
Yeah.
But, you know, so that's my advice, man. You know, stay prayed up, do your best. If you fail, you know, start where you are, start again. You know, just pick up and go, man. You know, it's tough. I get it. But you're not the only one going through a tough situation. If you need motivation, 3 places you should go see if you need motivation to get it together. Number one, the graveyard. Ride past the graveyards. They lowering somebody down.
Oh, every day.
Go to the hospital. Every day somebody's in there. You know this, go to the jails. Every day somebody's rotating in there.
Oh, most definitely.
The people who are incarcerated are in hospital or in the cemetery right now. If they had a different choice, they'll make it. They don't want to be there. So here you are with all your liberties, and you still complaining, you still crying about the situation. Please. Oh, another fourth one. Go by down underneath the bridge. You're going to see people living in tents. They call it Tent City here in Atlanta, underneath the bridge by the Grady Curve, by the Grady Hospital. People, they got tents underneath the bridge over the bypass, living there. It's cold outside. No facilities, no food, don't know, you know what I'm saying? So you got a roof over your head, you're healthy, you're strong, you know, you're doing what you got to do. You still got a shot. Muhammad Ali said, the canvas is no place for a champion. Les Brown says, if you can look up, you can get up. I'm gonna leave y'all with that. Stop complaining and do your work. Do the deep work. That's it.
That is it. Yeah, I heard it here tonight. If you don't grind, you don't shine. Stay consistent. If
Yeah,
you want
man.
to be better, hey, you got to step it up. No matter not for to come in your front door and say, hey, I need you to get your life together. Life gonna bypass. And I learned that too, T, as well in my own life. When I went through my divorce 5 years ago, I had to get my life together.
Yeah.
Spirit, mentally, everything. Because no matter not for knock on my front door and say, Firm, I need you to get your life together. People gonna look at you, laugh at you, go on by their business. I had to light a fire on my own butt to make yourself better.
Most people glad it's you and not them. Trust me.
Yeah.
You know, it's nobody really coming, man. And if somebody does come to your rescue, count that as a blessing. That's a true friend. That's a true family member, and bless them back. Like DMX says, when people show you love, it's what you do with that love that's gonna make his love more valid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but definitely that. Like, I show you love on your show, I know you're gonna show it right back when you put it back out. You know, so if somebody ring your doorbell with an SOS and say, look, bro, I see you down, take this or take that. You know, that's your man, that's a family member, and they see you down and they say, take this and take that so you can get back on your feet. That's love. And then soon when you get back in a position, you need to pay that love back. That's respect. That's respect and that's loyalty, you know, because ain't too many people gonna come to you and be like, here go a stack, you know, here go a band right quick. You know, I know, man, they put an eviction notice on your door, how much you need. Ain't nobody coming like that, dog. Ain't nobody coming like that.
They're not.
And you know, everybody trying to do the thing, but when people got the resources and they see you struggling and you a good dude, and they come to it, when you get that love, you need to repay that love back. Don't act like you're all of a sudden. So this is what it is. Like, I give people mad love, man, you know, and I don't look for that love back, but I can feel when it comes back, I'm like, that was right on time, you know. So that's all I can say, man. You know, just keep your head up and keep shining, keep running. Don't worry what the man to the left of you is doing, or to, you know, you got to stay focused here. Focus on, you know. And one more thing, this and this, you got to find a way for them two to get along. You know?
You got to. On that, like I said, man, I enjoyed you. You truly was a blessing here tonight on the podcast. Like I said, I know it's gonna be uploaded on my Facebook page, also my YouTube account as well, and just really share it because it's truly been a blessing. It's good to see a man of color. You don't hear a man talk about something positive, not know what I'm saying, but really bring some positive influence. We need it, especially. I'm glad to see that God is raising up the men. Because the women been doing it for so long. You know, God's raising up the men to take it to the next level.
It's a lot of guys that's whatever their platform or niche is, they're out there doing it. Shout out to them. Shout out to the women too. I'm just trying to play my position and play the hand that God had given me. And also, like, COVID and being quarantined, that's a lemon, man. So it's a lemon squeeze. You got to squeeze that lemon, add a little flavor to it, and turn it into something sweet to drink. And that's what we're trying to do right now. So, you know, we got to look at the positive sides of it. Out of so much negativity out of the world right now, we got to find those rays of rainbow that can really enhance somebody's life for them to get back to the next level. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to contribute to the global stage. And they say it's not what you do for the next 20 years. It's what you do, you know, for the next 200 years, you know, would you be remembered, you know? And I thought that was profound. Most people just living for tomorrow, you know, but you want to leave something for people to see. Well, he was this and he was that, you know. Don't worry about being super popular. I know a lot of unpopular people, but they got the biggest impact. The people behind the celebrities.
Yeah.
Those are people that I know. I'm like, yeah, who is this? You won't even know they're that person until they tell you they're that person. But we're so superficial. We looking at, you know, the big celebrities and stuff like that. I'm like, but who's the person who's his handler? Who's her handler?
Right.
You know, because everybody got an agent, everybody got a PR person, So I know a lot of millionaires, man. I party with them at their homes, and you wouldn't even know, you know, they're that person. And that's, I like y'all. So I'd rather have that lifestyle than to have the, ooh, check me out, you know, I'm out here type lifestyle. So yeah, focus on you.
And that's it. Matter of fact, I got one last question on that too. Legacy. You mentioned something about that, and that was my last final question. What do you want your legacy to be at the end of the day once everything's said and done, the smoke is clear?
You know, when the smoke is clear, I want them to really say, you know, they go Terrance, man. He lived his dream. He had a goal and he made it happen. He helped people around the world to become healthier. He's an advocate for type 2 diabetes. He didn't let nothing stop him. He put out his books. His voice was heard. He shared his content. He shared his knowledge. He shared his intellectual property. You know, he gave people some blueprints on how they can really enhance their life, you know, and whatever I can do. Every day I'm learning, man. So, you know, I keep evolving. and I want to know, one of my favorite quotes is, if it doesn't evolve me, then don't involve me.
Right.
So at the end of the day, man, I just want everything to say, look, this dude right here, he was an advocate for health and wellness. He lived by his principles. He had high integrity. He was loyal to the people that was loyal to him. He's strong, and he gave back to his community. He gave back to the culture, because so many people trying to chase the bag, but we're not chasing health. And then when we get the money, we got all these health problems. So, at the end of the day, it ain't all about the money, it's about the purpose. And I learned that from my millionaire friends. Like, the money gonna come. You just chase your purpose, and don't worry about that. It's gonna sustain you. And the man upstairs that's gonna hold you down. And if ever you get into a point where you don't believe it, you need to go back to the last few things he did for you.
Exactly.
So he can remind you, because we be forgetting. So my legacy should be mostly like that. Just trying to reach this man on a global stage. So,
man, that's what's up right there. Like I said, I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm very truly humble, man, that you gave me the opportunity to interview you for the very first time here with me doing a podcast. And I love it. I normally does the podcast on the days that I'm off, because this is my brand. If I'm putting in work for law enforcement, well, I can't do the same thing for myself and my own brand.
I'm telling you right now, you can't make nobody else rich and don't make yourself rich. That is it. You can't work on somebody else's stuff and not work on yours.
Exactly.
Most people go to work 9 to 5 and they come home, they're chilling. No, now you got to start working on your stuff. You keep your job, keep your career to help fuel, to keep the lights on, keep the, so you can work on your goals. So it's like, that's what we talk about when we talk about sacrifice.
That's it.
Yeah, it's going to be late nights, early mornings, a lot of stress. So everything ties in, man. You cannot work for somebody on their job to make sure they're getting their just due and not work on yours. Okay? If you got goals, you got dreams, you got aspirations of you monetizing everything you think of, making money off your thoughts, making money off your conversations, and all the stuff like that, you got to go for it. It starts when you get home. It don't start when you get to work, because you're not as focused. But some people, they're able to juggle. I juggle too on the low. I wrote my first book at my office job.
Yes.
You got to do what you got to do. So thank you for having me, man. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. Like I said, I thank everybody for, eventually who tuned in, those who's going to tune into the near future. The replay will be up tonight. It will be up on my Facebook account. Also, Terrance, I will send it to you as well. And also be up on my YouTube account as well. Also, so man, I want y'all to be blessed. Have a blessed night. Be motivated. Be inspired. Be the best you. Not best neighbor. Be the best you. See you next time. Peace.
Peace.